Why you do this? Understand yourself. Why is it so hard to just sit with yourself? No phone, no distraction, no noise. Just you. Because for a moment, it feels calm. But then something shifts. Your mind starts moving. Your body feels slightly restless. And almost automatically, you reach for something. Your phone, a message, a distraction. Anything that changes how you feel. But what if you're not just avoiding boredom? What if you're avoiding something deeper? Because most people don't realize this, the hardest thing to sit with isn't silence. It's what silence reveals. Because the problem isn't that you need distraction. It's that something inside you doesn't feel okay when there's nothing to distract you. And when that discomfort shows up, your mind doesn't just notice it. It tries to move away from it immediately. And by the end of this video, you'll understand what your mind is actually trying to move you away from, and how to sit with yourself without feeling overwhelmed. You've probably noticed this without thinking about it. You pick up your phone, even when there's nothing important to check. You scroll, even when nothing really interests you. You open apps, close them, then open them again. Not because you need something, but because being still feels uncomfortable. And the strange part is, you don't even decide to do it. It just happens, like your body moves before you even think. And that's why this pattern can feel so invisible. Because it doesn't always feel like a choice, it feels like an impulse you're already inside. What's happening here isn't random. Your brain is trying to change your internal state, not by solving something, but through stimulation. Because stimulation is fast, it shifts your focus, your mood, your attention, and for a moment, you don't feel what you were just feeling. It's not solving anything, it's just replacing it. And the more you rely on stimulation, the less familiar it feels to just be with yourself. So over time, relief starts feeling normal, and stillness starts feeling strange. But when that stimulation disappears, the feeling comes back. And that's the part most people don't stop to notice. Because it's not always clear. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's just a subtle discomfort. A slight unease, a quiet tension. Something that doesn't feel good, but is hard to explain. Almost like something is sitting just under the surface, waiting. And because it's subtle, you don't always name it. You just feel the urge to leave it. Your nervous system doesn't like unresolved feelings. So it tries to move you away from them. Not by understanding them, but by replacing them. With distraction, with attention, with connection. Anything that shifts your state quickly. Because feeling something uncomfortable takes more energy than avoiding it. So your system learns the fastest way out, not the deepest way through. And once that shortcut gets repeated enough, it starts feeling automatic. And over time, this becomes automatic. The moment something uncomfortable appears, your system reaches for something else. Not because you're weak, not because you lack discipline, but because your brain learned. This works. It reduces the feeling, even if only for a moment. And when something works, your brain repeats it without questioning it. Even temporary relief can train a very strong habit, if it arrives fast enough. But here's what most people don't realize. You're not just reaching for distraction. Sometimes, you're reaching to feel seen. A notification, a message, a reaction. Something that tells you, you exist in someone else's attention. And for a moment, that feeling replaces what was missing inside. Because when that's not there, something feels empty. Not loud, but noticeable enough that you don't want to stay in it. And that's why silence can feel heavier than it should. Because it's not just empty of noise, it can feel empty of confirmation. And being alone with that feeling doesn't feel neutral. It feels heavy, like something is missing, like something should be there, but isn't. And instead of sitting with that feeling, you move away from it. Not because you don't want to face it, but because you were never taught how to. So the problem was never that you were bad at being alone, it's that being alone started feeling emotionally unsafe. So the pattern forms. You feel something uncomfortable, you reach for something external. That external thing shifts your state, and the feeling disappears. But only temporarily, because nothing actually changed inside you. So the moment the stimulation stops, the feeling returns. And each time it returns, it feels slightly harder to sit with. Because now you're not only feeling the discomfort itself, you're also less practiced at staying with it. At a deeper level, this often connects to something earlier. Moments where you didn't feel fully seen, fully understood, fully safe just being yourself. So your system learned something. If I don't feel okay inside, I need something outside to fix it. And that belief keeps repeating. Even when nothing is actually wrong in the present moment. So even in quiet moments, your system keeps searching for something to hold onto. Not because the moment is dangerous, but because your body learned not to trust emptiness. Over time, this becomes part of how you operate. You become someone who always has something on. Something playing, something distracting, something filling the space. Silence starts to feel unfamiliar. Stillness starts to feel uncomfortable. And being alone with yourself starts to feel like something to avoid. Like being with yourself isn't enough, unless something else is there too. And when that becomes normal, you stop noticing how rarely you actually land in yourself. But when you understand this, something shifts. You stop seeing distraction as the problem, and start seeing what it's covering. Because the discomfort you feel isn't random, it's information. It's showing you something your system hasn't fully processed yet. And once you see that, the urge stops looking meaningless. It starts telling you something. Now you can start noticing it in real time. The next time you reach for your phone, pause, just for a moment, and ask, what am I feeling right now, that I don't want to feel? Not to fix it, not to analyze it, just to notice it. Even naming it quietly in your mind changes your relationship to it. Because what gets named often becomes less overwhelming. Because the goal isn't to remove distraction completely. It's to build the ability to stay with yourself, even for a few seconds longer than before, to sit with a feeling, without immediately trying to change it. That's where something starts to shift. Because the moment you can stay, you're no longer controlled by the urge to leave. Not perfectly, not forever, just slightly longer than before. And those small moments matter more than people think, because they start teaching your system, I can stay here, and still be okay. Here's a small way to start. The next time you feel the urge to escape, don't stop yourself completely. Just delay it, 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And in that moment, notice what's there. Not what you think about it, but what you actually feel. Because the more you can sit with yourself, the less you need something else to regulate you. And slowly, that space stops feeling uncomfortable, and starts feeling familiar. And when that space becomes familiar, you stop needing instant relief from every uncomfortable state. The fact that you're still here means something. Part of you is starting to notice the pattern. You're not just reaching for distraction. You're reaching for relief, for connection, for something that changes how you feel. And that's human. But the more you rely on something outside of you to feel okay, the harder it becomes to sit with yourself when it's gone. So maybe the real question isn't, why do I keep distracting myself? But, what am I avoiding when everything goes quiet? Because the moment you can be with yourself, without escaping, is the moment you stop needing something else to feel okay. And what might happen if you stopped running from that, just for a moment? And here's something I'd really want you to think about. When was the last time you sat in silence, without reaching for anything, and actually felt okay being there? Fire.